My name is Misha Mears, and I am community partner, or not community partnership. I was community partnership coordinator. I am community engagement coordinator now, and filling in behind James, who has taken a new role. And so you probably received emails from me with the agenda and the invites, and so I wanted to welcome you all today. I'm going to go ahead and put my information in chat here for you. And I thought we would do something a little bit different as folks are coming in over these next few minutes. If you could introduce yourself in chat, that would be wonderful. Names, pronouns, organization, and role. And then what's something that you would like to get from this meeting over the next few months? So it's your chance to tell me. And since I'm agenda creating along with James, you know, where would you like your focus or our focus to be in our time together? So I'll give you some time to put that information into the chat. And as folks are doing that, I do have a couple of announcements before we get to our first agenda item. First announcement is that in creating the meeting invitations and minutes and kind of cleaning up lists and whatnot, there were a whole bunch of errors and things that happened on my end that I would like to clean up. So I am going to make some adjustments after our meeting today. And I just wanted to forewarn you because it might come through on your end a little bit on the weird side, because I'll be deleting attendees and re-entering them in a different system. So it may look like the meeting is canceled and then it's going to look like you're re-invited, I'm guessing. So just know the meeting has not been canceled. I'm just trying to fix some errors and things on my side. The meeting will continue to happen the second Thursday at 2:05, and we'll have the same meeting link. So I just wanted to let you know, because there might be some confusion in what I'll be sending out to you. The other thing that I wanted to let you all know, I think most of you received my email, but I know I've also added a few new people to the list since I sent this email out. We have an opportunity to meet in person here coming up pretty soon on the 21st. We will be having our first in a long time in-person community partner briefing that we would love to invite you all to if you have the ability to get to Salem. So we hope to see you. I would love the chance to meet you because I know I am new to all of you. And I will include this information in the meeting minutes that I send out so that you have it again in case you might have lost it. But this is an opportunity to meet in person, connect, and learn about what's going on in the legislature right now and kind of get briefed on those pieces. So, all right. I think, gosh, we are right on time. James, is there anything you wanted to say before we go to our first agenda item? All right, thank you. So is Victoria here? There she is. Wonderful. So we have the opportunity this afternoon to hear from one of our partners and learn about all the great, wonderful work that they are doing. So I'm going to hand it off to Victoria now with Dress for Success.
Hello, everybody. Our organization is a workforce development nonprofit that is geared to help women and gender neutral folks that identify as female with preparation for jobs, including the suiting program. It started with just basically clothing for the interviews. So when they go get the job, they present themselves properly and they have that self-confidence. But since then, it developed into other programs that we have. Job seeker program that includes virtual part of the classes. That means with COVID, we had only virtual classes. Now, since July, we restarted our in-person classes at PCC Beaverton location right next to the WorkSource. And we offer those classes in collaboration with the WorkSource Beaverton location. And also we have another program that is job retention program, Professional Women's Group. I will tell about each program just a little bit differently, but I just wanted to make sure that I say that we do offer virtual services, and we also offer services in person. And we serve 6 counties. We serve Multnomah, Polk, Yamhill, Salem area, and Southeast Washington County and Clark County for now. We trying to expand our especially virtual part of the services to maybe other region of Oregon, that people can just come to our virtual classes, workshops that we offer. So there are 2 different parts, both of our job retention program basically and the job seeker program offer suiting. A part that provide people clothing appropriate for any type of the job. So when they're job searching, it will be more formal for the interviews or networking events. But then when they get the job, within 90 days, they get to come back again and get the clothing that is appropriate for the workplace. It can be trades, it can be any labor related clothing. We have scrubs, we have all kinds of clothing. It's not just office attire or business casual, like a lot of people think. We are trying to accommodate any type. We have a lot of caregivers, for example, so they're looking for specific shoes that they can spend a lot of time in, and scrubs, we can offer that. Also a lot of even warehouse workers, they have requirements, for example, just all black attire, or if the person works at Target, they need red shirt, 10 pants. We can accommodate everything, and our referral process went online. And we have some questionnaire that asks about clothing questions that we make sure that we have the items they need. If we don't have them in stock, we don't have them donated, we will go and purchase some items so we can accommodate a specific client and their needs. And our job retention, job seeker workshops, it's the program that I started, Volunteering with Dress for Success, over 4 years ago in person. And then during the COVID, we pivoted virtually very quickly. We started our classes virtually offering in April after everything got shut down in March. We pivoted very quickly because a lot of people lost jobs, and it was a great need for those type of classes. And our workshops are for our teachers are all volunteers, except our workforce development manager, Kim Deely, and she's the contact for this program. All other teachers are volunteers, and they are from manager positions, HR positions. And we always ask, it's interactive classes, we ask students what specifically their barriers to employment are. We kind of have a joke that it's workshops created by introverts for introverts. Because usually people then when have barriers, it's difficult for them to make connections with strangers, or they don't have high self-confidence to present themselves, even in workshops or in the interviews, in the networking, and they don't know even where to start often. We have a lot of our clients are domestic violence survivors, single moms that suddenly find themselves needing to support the family and the kids, and it's difficult for them because they were stayed at home so many years, so gap in employment. We have also with some legal issues, folks, we help every woman because we try to create a very safe space for them, so they just can express even what their barriers are and feel safe environment. So it's just not just kind of classes how to do that, but how to do it if you are unsure. For example, if they new to the area, how they can find networking in the new area. They switch in careers, how to present their transferable skills, or even how to determine that you do have those skills that people are looking for, that they can properly write them on the resumes or in the cover letters and present to the potential employers, and how to even write the thank you notes, because a lot of people don't do that. So we have those kind of practical tips and tools to give women instead of just giving basically just a general knowledge for how to apply for jobs. We talk specifically about differences, for example, in government applications, how their resumes and cover letters look versus private sector jobs. We talk about applicant tracking systems. So all those kind of little tips that help them be on top of the list for hiring managers. And also we have, of course, interview practices. We have one in person. We do them twice a month, in person in Beaverton and virtually online on Wednesday mornings. Our classes in Beaverton are on Thursdays, and it's an interactive class with some homeworks, group practices. So it's very interesting and very engaging part of the classes. And we also have access to the computer room to do some online search. For example, if people are looking for a new career, they don't know where to start, we work with the OnNet online. It's a big database with the US Bureau of Labor. And we go to the computer room and actually do the things. Also LinkedIn, they have access to the computer to ask questions and to edit their profiles or add information what they need. We also offer some workshops that are like one-off, or they are regular but not every month. And one of them is offered by professional career coach, one of our volunteers, wonderful volunteers. She offers personal branding. It's talking more about how to use LinkedIn, not how to create your profile, but how to use that LinkedIn profile to your best benefit, how to present yourself so it will be branding. You are presenting your whole person, not just kind of your like your resume or your aspirations, cover letter thing. And our professional women's group, we invite all the folks that get jobs. When they come to the clothing appointment, they also can join our monthly meetings at the women's professional group. We have about 60 active members right now, and active members, I believe they need to attend at least 4 monthly meetings a year. And we have them virtually for folks who cannot really come in person Wednesday evenings. They can do it from home because they may have kids and they will not be able to come in person. But also on Saturdays, we restarted a couple of months ago in-person meetings that they get to network with each other. It's kind of our pride and joy when people want to come in, and it's like a peer support networking, and also they get presentations from our volunteer speakers. It can be related to any wellness tips, how to survive in a new job. We talk about job journals, for example, financial literacy one-on-one, when you get a new job, how you start creating a budget, how to kind of position self-care. It can be any topic, and also we offer like cybersecurity, for example, workshops, and we invite all the clients that are interested in that. So we try to provide all variety of support services. Also, our clients, before COVID, we used to have salon services. So we had makeup and a hairstylist to prepare them for work. And it was not just kind of making the style. They were teaching them how to do it at home. It was a dry style, and it was not like hair cutting salon. And with the makeup application, it was mainly training them how to do it, so to bring their best features and still look natural and good for the job. I'm probably rambling so much.
Victoria, I have to interrupt you. I'm sorry, we're a little bit over time. Is there any other information you'd like to share real quick before we move on?
Our services for the workshops, you can sign up directly, Fast Track at Beaverton. You sign up through the workshop, WorkSource at Beaverton. For online classes, Kim Deely directly. I will put links to our workshops sign up sheet. For the clothing appointments, the clients don't need to be in our workshops to get clothing, but then they need a referral from our partners, member agencies, to come in and get the clothing for their jobs. And it's also online process, very, very simple. And I will send the links as well, how to do that.
Thank you, Victoria. And if you have any other information you'd like to send my way, I'll make sure the group gets it.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. All right, we're going to move on to our next agenda item. We have Nate Singer here to talk to us about what's going on in the world of OEP. Nate.
Hey, everyone. It's great to be with you all. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick and provide an update around some of the things that are happening around Oregon Eligibility Partnerships. So let's see, sharing. Good. All right. Appreciate have the opportunity to be here today and to be able to provide some information. So again, Nate Singer, the Oregon Eligibility Partnership Director, he, him are my pronouns. So let's give you an update. These are usual updates we try to give as we go to things. So And sorry for Andrew if he's watching, because I use the Teams version of this. So any notes you do, you'll get to see it. As you look across on our application processing deadlines, we continue to see a drop in the number of past due applications, but it's an area that we're continuing to watch. It's nowhere near where we want to be. Again, I want to call out a couple key areas around this. As we talk about past due applications, these are applications for programs that are past expected timeframes, either from federal regulations or that have been suggested to us by federal partners around when we should be processing these applications. And so they could be out not because of a delay on our side. It could also be related to requesting additional information from the Oregonian and or an individual in the state, and they're getting it back for us still. So as we look at those opportunities, here's the graph that shows where we are and what we're trending on. I want to switch here for a minute. This is just a different view of it, but gives the numbers particular to the different types. So as of January 27th, there's 7,773 applications that are past their processing deadlines. We are continuing to track and work on these. We're asking staff to work overtime to make sure that we are processing things as we get a chance to, as we just watch this historic volume. But this is a breakdown of the program areas that we're continuing to look at. As we continue to move through things, I want to just give you a couple quick updates and then move to a couple other updates. Call wait times. All this information again is available on benefits.oregon.gov. So if you go to the website, you can see regular updates on any of our information there. We are hoping that as we start to do the medical redeterminations again, we'll have we're hoping you'll have all the other program information in for this first phase. If not, we'll continue to be updating it, but we'll actually have a live dashboard available there so you can pull more specific information around your programs and understand how the department's doing and trying to meet the needs of individuals. But call times continue to be an area we're looking for. You can see comparatively, as you look across from December of 21, I will just point this difference of the height of that purple up there versus down here. So we have seen some things happening as we continue to go through it. But for those that might have seen me talk this morning at a legislative hearing, this week had one of the longest hold times that I had seen previously as we looked across this. So as we looked across this, we had a hold time that went to, I think, 256 minutes. So quick math there, that's over 4 hours. And so while our average was closer as we go to 30 or 28 minutes for some of those areas, we have had a couple larger spikes. Part of that is this is the beginning of the month. This is also, as hopefully you all are aware, unfortunately, the ending of the last month, we're issuing out emergency allotments for SNAP. And so we have had quite a few calls from individuals around, what does this mean? I'm getting my SNAP now. Will I get one last this month? Is this the amount I'll have continuing? And so we're continuing to provide information there. There's some great things on our DHS external website under our self-sufficiency programs, and I can paste the link in here in just a minute that has some talking points around SNAP ending of those emergency allotments, again, just as resources. As you look around this, these are some of the customer service improvements that are happening. These are really around public health emergency. A couple I want to call out. We are working on the Oregon One mobile app. We're hoping that we'll be able to roll out later this year. We've again, the opportunity and specifically thinking about some of our individuals receiving supplemental nutrition assistance program or SNAP or food benefits. We have some common verifications that when they aren't turned in negatively affect their eligibility or our ability to process it. And so the goal with this app, as we continue to roll it out in the phases, will be to be able to take a picture and upload those verifications directly to their case. So we'll look and see what opportunities we have there around this. We're also looking at options to continue to do additional things. You might notice we are having callback options on our phone lines now. Our language access lines are happening there. We are, as a state, having to move our phone vendors. So we're currently served by one vendor, and the statewide contract for our phones was awarded to a new company. So over the next several months, we'll be picking up and lifting our phone system. So we'll continue to let you know if we have any issues as we do that. But we are looking at ways to then, as we do that later this year, bring in interactive voice response. So you can do updates, potentially do a future scheduling through it. And we're right now piloting out text messaging. So it's one of our robotic process automations. We call it SMS Nudge. Basically, when an individual has a redetermination coming due or needs to provide us a document or has an appointment coming up, they will receive a text message to them, letting them know if they have a text message available to them, letting them know this appointment's coming up, just as an additional reminder. We'll still send the notices and other things, but trying to do multiple ways to really reach out and connect with people. I'm going to spend the last minute and then I'll be done, I promise. Just, you know, as we look across, there's a lot happening with the public health emergency. I have some slides I can share out later and we can share across to the group if y'all are interested. But as we continue to move through here, I just want to spend a second here on this slide. You know, right now we're in the spot that we know February is the last month. So in March, emergency allotments for SNAP have ended. In April of 2023, medical renewal or redetermination process begins again. And so we'll be getting those. The public health emergency officially expires in May. So May 11th of 2023, which means certain exemptions for higher education students will be phased out. And we will have to look at those as we do certifications and ongoing cases, and for new applications, no longer have those exemptions. And able-bodied adults without dependents, those work requirements or job requirements become effective again in July of 2023. So there's a lot of changes that Oregonians and the people we serve in the state are going to be going through. Our staff are going to be navigating. If you could do one thing for me, and I didn't put this in chat to beg, it's all about me, but as you get a chance to engage with anyone through our programs, you know, just let them know, please read our notices. We continue to want to be better. Please update their contact information. You know, applicant portal is still the quickest way for them. They can come in an office, they can call us, they can go any route possible, but it's going to be so critical over the next, especially year. I would love to say several months, but really over the next year as we move through things, that we're able to contact people as we get back to a more formal, maybe before process of how we do eligibility as these pandemic protections and exemptions end. And with that, I will pause and see if there's any questions or things. And sorry, I stink at Zoom, so I'm going to the chat and I will stop sharing because it's just easier that way. James was already answering 1,000 questions. For those who don't know, James coming and helping us within the department and with Oregon Eligibility Partnership during this time is so critical. And in the near future, will probably be more James and Jillian. So you'll have way more dynamic speakers providing than what you got from me today.
I'll say that your testimony this morning was impressive, given you had the pinch hit as well. So
we appreciate it. Yes, and we are very lucky to have gotten James. It's trying to hold on to him. That's the hard part, you know, as we look across here. But no, I appreciate all the help and the rest. Not the whole slide deck. Is there a link I can provide my other orgs? We'll find a way to send out some of this. Linda, I think when we send out the PowerPoint, Andrew, if you're on, if not, we'll coordinate after, we'll get it to the group and we'll send it out. You should be able to have all the resources there, and you're welcome to reach out to myself. I'll throw James under the bus here since he's the big picture on my screen currently. Reach out to James or the rest. We can help connect in some of the pages that we have that have resources so you can share. And if I could ask anything, it's please tell us how we can do better. So, you know, there are great partnerships. I love joining this if for no other reasons than listening to, as we did with Victoria today and others, understanding how you all are partnering together, what the different services and providers are. And for us, it's going to take a network. It always does. And so we need to be able to coordinate and learn from you all. So you can say, this makes no sense to us, Nate. You need to say things better. So please do that. And we'll do our best. Thank you all.
Thanks, Nate. All right, any last questions for Nate before we move on to the next? It's unprecedented. We're ahead of schedule. We're doing great. All right, I think we're okay to go on to policy updates. I do see Linda has something in chat there that I will maybe address on the side. Food program, Stephanie, are you available?
Hi, I am here. Yes, apologize, I'm not on camera. I've been having some internet issues today and I could barely get sound, let alone video. So we're gonna just stick with sound for now. So with the SNAP program, Nate kind of already covered this, but the big hot topic right now is emergency allotments. This is our last month that households will be receiving those. So this is the last month they receive them. Starting in March, those no longer will be coming to folks' EBT cards. Notices have been sent out to households, letting them know that emergency allotments are ending, as well as information about where they can kind of learn what their standard benefit allotment is. So this would be previous approval notices that they've received that would say, you have been approved for this amount of SNAP benefits, or they could always log into the One Applicant portal and then review their benefits page and see what their SNAP allotment is for. So we're continuing to work on communications out to the public. And so this is going to include social media. I know we're going to be doing a couple hosted sessions on Facebook Live for both the English and the Spanish channel. We'll be doing some updates to Instagram and Twitter through ODHS. I know our comms team is working on some radio ads that will be presented in both English and in Spanish. And then I imagine we're going to be doing some press releases as well, so that the news agents can pick it up. So that's the big topic really to share for the SNAP side. Does anyone have any questions about emergency allotments ending or anything, any further information I can share?
Stephanie, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely, Nate.
All right. And this may be more for everyone else, as we consider the needs of individuals as these emergency allotments end, we know that the economy hasn't gotten to a place with inflation, the rest, that this isn't a needed value. Unfortunately, it's ending. Have we had any connections with the food banks or others? Are we feeling good about or coordinating on ways to make sure that they're stocked up? I don't know the right ways to say this, forgive me. And sorry for bringing this up to you, Stephanie, and throwing this in here.
No, that's a wonderful question. So, we do partner with Oregon Food Bank, who has regional pantries throughout the state. And then a lot of our other partners, contracted or not for outreach, also have food pantries or food boxes available to them. And so I can't directly answer the question of if they've been kind of padding the cupboards with food. Just that would definitely be a question for Oregon Food Bank if they have started to add supplies because they're expecting an increase of families coming in to utilize their services. But I know they are definitely aware that this is coming, and just with other, reduces and benefits that we've had in the past, we, have had to turn to our partners to help, assist with families with budgeting their incomes, budgeting their food budget, providing, supplements to the SNAP benefit. And so, yeah, I know they're definitely aware and kind of ready for that information.
Thank you. And I'm already seeing some of the responses there, that coordination, and truly for all you, the partners out here, I just want to spend a second saying thank you for coming through and considering and figuring out how to do this. I appreciate SSP and this partnership you've always had. That is an area I've always been jealous and appreciative of.
All right, I see some great responses happening right now in chat. I hope you all can see them. Did we have anybody from the Oregon Food Bank here today who wanted to speak to that question? I didn't want to move on without giving you an opportunity.
Hi, Misha. This is
Hi.
Sandra. Unfortunately, I don't work in food distribution, so I'm not sure exactly what steps have been taken. I know that the folks that support the Food Finder website have definitely been a part of the conversation, and our communications team has also is getting the word out. We're sending flyers through our network, so tens of thousands of flyers are going out as we speak, and they have the Food Finder information on the flyers. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't speak to food distribution itself. Sorry.
That's all right. Thank you so much for that information. Perhaps when we get to the open forum part of our meeting, if there are folks on the call who have more information to add about any services they've got in mind or extra things. I know that Michael had put something in chat. If others have things they might like to share, that would be a great time to do that. Is Alma here from our childcare program?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Awesome. You have an announcement for us?
I do. Just briefly here, we are for the ERDC program, we're going to be sending out informational letters for all our ERDC and SNAP recipients who look like they may qualify for ERDC for childcare services. This letter is going to go out in the next week or so, and it's going to go out to over 31,000 families who are either working or attending school with kids under the age of 13. And also we're encouraging staff who are talking to SNAP families about the emergency allotments ending. Of course, you know, Stephanie just touched on that. And to also speak to them about if they may qualify for childcare services, ERDC, as a way of helping them navigate the loss of those SNAP benefits. And now with, you know, the new copay structure being, the copays are no more than $130 per month for families depending on household size. We are really hoping that our, the eligibility workers are having those conversations with the families as they touch base with them. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. Any questions for our childcare team? I know we have a few folks on from ODHS. I am looking for the page. I know it's around here somewhere with our information about emergency allotments and some communications that folks can get out to partners. I saw there's a question about publications and flyers being available. If somebody knows readily where that's at, maybe you can copy that into chat. Otherwise, I'll keep looking as we're having discussions and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to James at this time, who's going to help facilitate our open forum. This is just kind of we're hoping to make some time to just chat, hear what's going on, give you more time to ask questions and to share. So take it away, James.
Well, Misha has done a much better job than I usually do of keeping things on time. I was sort of surprised we have this time, and I know there's lots of changes that your clients are facing. If anyone has a story or of course a question, but something that illustrates your work, this would be a good time. And I will pause for a moment as you think about this. I know you didn't come here to speak. You came here to do something else and listen in for the most part. We know what you're up to, but we do want to make more of a habit of getting your input. while you think about that as well, Michael, yes, I saw you come on screen. I hesitated. I was thinking of calling you out, but yeah, go for it.
Well, I figured I would just do a shout out to Unite Us and Connect Oregon. Our area in the Willamette Valley, Lynn Benton County area has been making use of it for a while now, but the accessibility and the ease with which it is to make referrals and receive referrals has been increasing over time. My organization is located in Lebanon, but it's allowed us to assist people up in the Staten area, all the way over into Philomath and down to Junction City.
You know, Michael, that is really funny you mentioned that, because one of my things I was going to mention, if there was a lot of emptiness, was the fact that the Community Information Exchanges recently had a report that came out to talk about the services where you know, community can connect with each other over either the Unite Us, now Connect Oregon, or Aunt Bertha, now Find Help. So I can link that report in our chat. But and I see that Misha has also put in the resources for the food benefits coming, or some of these changes. So that's great. There's lots of flyers and things like that as well. But we always, you know, I think like a year or two ago, I threatened, it's like, do we need to go into breakout groups to get people to talk? But we'd just love to hear about your work.
Would anybody else like to share about some of what they're doing today or right now with the organizations, or any extra efforts that you might be doing, knowing that, you know, these emergency allotments are ending and that there's a whole winding down of the public health emergency and changes coming up? We'd love to hear about it.
I would love to share just something that our tribe has done that I think has been helpful in getting some of this information out. And I'm Caitlin Zimbrick, and I'm the Community Programs Manager with the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. And one thing that we re-implemented this year is we have both our Yamhill and our Polk County self-sufficiency teams in our offices on site. So Monday and Wednesdays, we either have an eligibility specialist or a family coach here on our campus working with community members, whether tribal or not. And that's been really helpful in just, you know, making sure people are aware of some of these big changes coming up. And then also for people who are not signed up for the programs, they can do that on site rather than being sent to, you know, McMinnville or Dallas. That's it.
So I'm sorry, who is on site, Caitlin?
So we have in McMinnville and the Dallas offices for the self-sufficiency teams, we have a group because they rotate, but Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 4 p.m. we either have an eligibility specialist or a family coach from one of the offices here in Grand Ronde, and that is ongoing. So people are able to come into our office and access them. And that's been pretty helpful. We're seeing like an uptick in people utilizing these services.
Hey, I'd love to talk some more on it. I've even had a meeting this earlier, right before this, about that very subject. But Michael, you have your hand up, so I want to go to you.
I figured since everybody else is being so quiet, it helped fill in the blanks. So my organization, Crossroads Communities, again, small little organization, but we believe that many hands make light work when everybody's pulling together. So we have set up a coalition within our city where we're working with the Lebanon Soup Kitchen and St. Martin's Church. Both those organizations provide meals. One provides evening meals Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The other provides morning meals Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we're working to be able to help find additional lapses in coverage for people. We've assisted by delivering meals. We're hoping to partner here soon with Meals on Wheels done by the Cascade West Council of Governments to be able to help shore up some of that shortfall that people will be experiencing for the lack of funding that's going away at the end of the month.
Yeah, if if we're not doing our job of getting the word out, and people don't know, didn't look at the, they should have a letter in the preferred language of the household, or at least there's 8 languages that went out. They're going to know the second week of March. So that's, in a sense, our deadline to make sure people are aware of what's coming. And Joshua, I see you have your hand up.
Hi, thank you very much. So yeah, I'm Joshua Brown. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for 211 Info out here in Eastern Oregon. So one of the things that we've been working on doing is getting more food banks into our system, because people are going to be calling up and requesting that sort of information. The Oregon Food Pantry and Meal Locator is just a tremendous asset. So that's what we've been doing a lot at 211. Just because you did ask, and I think it's relevant with my other hat, which is I'm also a member of the OSU Master Gardener program out here. We're planting trees and fruit trees in public places. And I know it's not going to be an immediate thing, but next year and hopefully for the years after that, there will be more fruit that people can grab. And so, many hands make light work. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you to each of you for this work. I wanted to come back and ask this open question that Caitlin raised, in that I know we're jumping back and forth between this huge end of the emergency allotments that are going to profoundly affect people, but in this sort of process talk of the eligibility workers being in offices, and I alluded that we're thinking about that. Is that something your organization be interested in? And I'm just hoping to follow up with you, Caitlin, offline or maybe online, about your experience with it. Are there any concerns? Is it just a net plus? What do you think of an eligibility worker or a family coach being where your clients come?
I can say, I know for the tribe, so this was something that was implemented before COVID, not quite on this scale, like 2 times a week and rotating eligibility and family coaches. But I think that like for us who are not eligibility specialists, or we don't work directly in the programs, it can be challenging with our clients to try to explain all of those programs, get them connected, where it just takes out that barrier. We can just walk people over or get them set up, and we know it's what days it is. And it's just been, we've seen the offices fill up, and that's really great for us. So we know it's working. We're only on, month 2. So I don't have a lot of data, or we haven't had a lot of our collaboration meetings, but I think it's going well.
Oh, that's really good to hear. That's good feedback.
And happy to have you connect, outside of this meeting if you just want to talk more about it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else with experience with that or thoughts on it?
I'm at Mount Hood Community College, and we are very interested in having eligibility workers on campus. And we've started that conversation, but yeah, haven't quite gotten there yet. And I think part of my role is to help people apply for SNAP using the online application. And I think it's still challenging because I can't see anything on the other side of that application. And so I think having eligibility workers on campus, even if they're not there that often, would not only help students connect directly with them, but I suspect that it would really help me cross-train better to be better prepared to answer questions and just have a closer relationship.
Thank you, Laura. That's good to hear, good to know. Yeah, we just want to be aware, I'm the former advocate, and so sometimes I will perhaps say things not traditionally agency-wise, but So I'm going to say one of those things now. I don't want the state agency saying, oh, this is a good idea, and we're going to just blunder our way and, big, massive way and stomp our way into places that may or may not want us. We want to be careful about it. And so, so I'm just also wanting to see if, what concerns we might have to worry about. And that's something we're starting to think about. But if anyone had any thoughts, that would be great as well.
There's a question in chat about summer EBT.
Yes, I can
Yeah,
answer that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
yeah.
So let me scroll back up to it. So, okay. Yes, summer EBT. So, well, I'll kind of back up because there's a lot of summer EBTs. So summer EBT for 2022, which was last summer, those benefits are going to be issued out at the end of March. So coming up here in just about a month and a half. The thing though with them is that all eligible children are going to receive a new EBT card in the mail, and those are going to be mailed starting the middle of March through the end of May. So families are going to receive those benefits during that duration. So they may, have the benefits approved onto the card right at the beginning of March. And if they, looked on the EBT Edge, they would see it there, but they wouldn't have received that card in the mail for a little bit of time. So that is the benefit for summer 2022. It's going to be $391 for each eligible child. And so that includes children who were eligible for free or reduced meals with their school during the last month of last school year, or it's going to be for SNAP children under the age of 6 who received SNAP benefits last summer. For the other programs, so for school year 2022-2023, as well as summer 2023, we are still working with our partners at the Department of Education to review the eligibility requirements that were provided by our federal partners and see if this is a program that Oregon is able to do. Each iteration of PEBT, they slightly change the requirements of who is eligible, and it makes it a little challenging to constantly keep up and kind of pivot with them. One of the main eligibility factors for school year and summer is that only children that had COVID-related absences are eligible for PEBT benefits when they were out of school due to that COVID-related absence. In Oregon, our schools don't capture that information. They're actually not allowed to. And so that puts us kind of in a little bit of a pickle because the feds are requiring that information, but we don't have access to that. So that's why we're still kind of considering and working with the Department of Education as well as our federal partners to see even if we will submit a plan for those two. For summer EBT 2024, which is a little different. So part of the Appropriations Act took the money that was being used for pandemic EBT and made it into a more permanent program. And that is called summer EBT, and that will come into permanency in next summer of 2024. So that is a program that we are still, kind of identifying how we would establish and set up, and that would be a permanent program that we provide into our state plan. And so it's issued every year or every summer to eligible children. So that's still something that we're wanting to review, and we'll have to make changes to our state plan if Oregon is going to do that program. So I know that was a lot of information and a lot of different moving time periods. So is there any questions I can answer?
You said it was from beginning of March until when that they're going to be receiving their summer card?
Their card till the end of May.
Okay. Oh, and I do have another question.
Sure.
If I can just take. There we go. So I'm not. I guess I don't know. So kids who were eligible for free lunch, they're the ones that received the EBT card, right, in the past, like during the pandemic?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, and so regardless of their legal status?
That's correct.
Okay, and so will that be the same?
Yeah, that would be the same for this one too. So yeah, as long as that kiddo's getting free meals at school or reduced price meals at school, they would be eligible for PEBT.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments?
I was just going to throw out real quick, if you have more interest in learning about the summer EBT programs and other SNAP and food related programs, that we have another partner call in 2 weeks at the same exact time. And so if you did not receive that invite and you are interested in having more in-depth conversations around food programs, you can go ahead and put that in the chat, maybe have your email, and I will make sure I get you connected to that meeting. James.
Yeah, well, I want to say that Frederica, you make a very kind comment, but rest assured, I'm not going far. I'm still working with Misha on these, on the agendas, and obviously helping in the meeting. I'll continue to be going on this. Misha, as you see, is very capable leader in this, and it has plenty of ideas that I didn't think about or didn't have time or whatever. And so it's been great to be able to hand much of the duties to her, but like I said, I'll still be here. And when it comes to learning about what the agency does, a great primer of what is going on. You know, you think, well, it'd be nice to get a summary. Well, at the beginning of every long session, the agency does give such a summary. And so I'm going to drop a little blurb in the chat. I know it's who has, you know, a few hours to give to watch some testimony, but you know, it's amazing how much you will learn about how the agency works if you catch a little bit of these testimonies. You know, yesterday was Claire Sequin, the interim director here for self-sufficiency programs, and this morning was Nate Singer's testimony on OEP. So take some time, but you will learn quite a bit if you have that time. But we'll continue doing these here. So Misha, any last words?
I just wanted to thank you all for being here and being so engaged. We had a nice full meeting today and some great conversation. And I think we all are coming away some new information. So thank you all so much. And I hope we will see you again next month. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.